Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Like I said, I am back from hiatus. I've posted my tour through Canada video and we are back with the first game. I was feeling bored and I wanted to play something, but I am also waiting for things to play, as well as funds to finally get Destiny 2 The Final Shape DLC. So while we wait, I found this lovely little psychological horror / romance visual novel on my favorite website, itch.io, called Repeat It Back to Me. Now, as I recall, from what it says on the dev page, is this is the synopsis of the game. He's sitting there waiting for me again. Did he invite me here? We were here together, or did I follow him out here? I know I need to figure that out. It says you started to forget some of the bigger details. You want him to be the Elias you remember. He wants to be Elias too, but something stands in the way of getting everything just right. A familiar route through the forest, a face that's not quite right, a sun that won't go down, and a day that won't ever end. So that's what we're going to play today. Do I know how long it's going to take? No, so it might be another short video, or a short video, but that's okay. I'm getting back into the swing of things after a month and a half off, so let's play Repeat It Back to Me. All right. How can you be so sure that it will work? Well, I'm not, but I'm patient. I dust off the sand and walk back to the car. It's an old red thing. I wonder if he expected a different response. This isn't the first time he's asked. A gull's sitting there on the window, and I shoo him away before getting in the car. Tall spruce trees circle the gravel parking lot and line the road. A torn veil of moss covers some of the trees. Someone once told me that they only grew like that in places that have clean air. The sun dips to just above the horizon, the lowest it'll go for a few weeks. A clock on the dashboard tells me it's almost 2 a.m. After every bump in the road, I hear the clang of glass hitting glass coming from the trunk. I curse the car for never having enough room. It's warm still. I'm not sure if the day will ever end. My eyelids droop. It's been a long time since I've seen another car, but still. I pull off the road into a clearing to the sound of one more chime from the trunk. I have it all set up in boxes and bags in the back. The trunk is lit up by a dull bar built into the rear door. I sift through everything, working methodically through the box with the photos, the bag with the clothes, the binder for old letters and medical documents. In a place dedicated to little trinkets, I find a snow globe and a glass jewelry box next to each other, and an unraveled piece of tissue paper nearby. I'm going to wrap this snow globe. I wrap the snow globe up in the paper and put it back where it belongs. He gave me a kiss on the cheek before leaving. Elias was out on a trip to visit family in America for nearly 3 weeks over winter break while I was stuck at home. He asked me if I wanted anything from the States. I told him not to worry about me. Go enjoy the time with your family. And he ignored me, as I knew he would, and brought back an assortment of gaudy little trinkets that we spent the better part of an hour laughing over. In the center of the snow globes sat the Statue of Liberty. Now the water has evaporated and the statue leans a little off-center. The grass in the clearing is so bright it hurts to look at for too long, so I lay down, looking up instead. From the road, it's easy to see that the trees all point in the same direction. But from here, it's clear that they point towards the same place, too. For a second, the place is a bird. A big white one. The gull, I think. I must be close to the ocean. And then, just a moment later, that little hole in the sky is empty again, and the trees point towards nothing, towards each other. The car's too stuffed to sleep in. I don't know the first thing about camping, nor do I think I have the room for camping gear anyways, but I have a tarp and a blanket, and it's enough for me now. The sun swung across the road while I slept. The passenger door to the car is open. A handful of feathers scattered across the dash. The gull had gotten into the car again. I pop the trunk and tally what I have. The bird loves messing with my things. Some of it moved overnight, but I'm certain it's all still there. I look up to see if the gull is still around. The sky is empty and the tree is pointing at nothing. I make a promise to myself that next time I'll remember to lock the car. I start the car again, and the road unfurls before me. I'm useless at directions, but the route isn't very hard to follow. It's only at this point, just ahead now, where I have to turn off onto a dirt road that I get nervous. There's a dip between the pavement and the dirt so deep that I have to slow down, hold my breath, and tumble straight through. I pretend not to hear the small crash coming from the trunk or the whine of the car complaining about my decision. I park the car at the gravel lot just past the first exit, and before I can even grab the keys, the bird is sitting on the passenger side mirror. I get out, lock the car, and wave the bird away. The creature opens its ugly beaked maw to yell at me. A few flaps of his wings, and it's above me, pecking at my hair. I swipe at it, it won't leave me alone. Seagulls, man. Useless. It gets a little braver every time, and I grow a little more sick of its in-kind. I reach down for a small stone that seems to scare it off. I fix my hair and straighten my shirt before walking onto the beach. He sits there, waiting for me. He's wearing a bright red sweatshirt. The screen-printed design on the sleeve is faded and tattered. It's strange. I can't recall what happened before this moment. Elias sitting out on the dock, and me walking up to sit next to him. Did he invite me here? We were here together. Or did I follow him out here? I know I need to figure that out. I take a seat next to him on the dock. The thing is ancient, probably built when our parents were our age. The wood has turned a sickly gray color. I tear pieces of it off without any issue, and yet the thing still floats. I take my shoes off and let my feet dangle in the water. And just like that, I'm back there again. It's been a while. 18 hours to be exact, but never mind that. It's a nice lake. Yeah. The lake wasn't that nice. The water was cold and muddy. Even the beach, if you wanted to call it that, was mostly rocks and weeds, but still. Why won't you talk to me? Oh, come on. You're no fair. Fine. Sorry. I grab onto his arm. He leans in towards me, and I lean on him in turn. Have you decided about school? Not yet. Where are you leaning? I don't know. I did. Tall grasses just jut from the water near the dock. The blades are wide and thin. Okay. I leaned down, spearing my fingernail through the middle point of a blade of grass and dragging it up. The grass grows thinner. I remember once sitting here with Elias and watching a group of ducks glide across the water. It's going well, I think. You're going far away, aren't you? Come on, I still don't know yet. I watch his face as he looks away from me. No matter how hard I try, it's never all the way there. It doesn't matter that I have photographs of us from every angle. I'll never be able to set the features just right. At least when I look at our reflections in the water, I can't tell anything is wrong. What if we went somewhere together? What do you mean? It could be like a road trip. Summer's almost over. We don't have enough time for that. Let's just try to enjoy this afternoon. Here. Oh, come on. It doesn't have to be long. You always used to talk about it. How we should go somewhere together. I'm sorry. I have to get ready. I never stop stinging when I have to say it. Get ready for what? I still can't say it. You're leaving, aren't you? I don't know. I think so. What do you mean you think so? Is either you're leaving or you're not leaving. Water comes in, rolls over the rocks and weeds. I remember this feeling, realizing that my silence was entirely my own, and that his silence belonged exclusively to him. Look at us now, sitting separately in silence. I'm sorry. He's going off script. But I don't get it. Out of every memory, why come back to this one? You told me you didn't even break up with him until, what, a year later? The timeline doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I wish I could tell you. He starts trying to skip stones across the water. None of them make it past the second jump. I don't think I ever told him about that habit. All of the good stones must be underwater by now, but that doesn't stop him from trying. How did I do? You're getting better, but it's difficult, you know? Something's not quite right. Is it the voice? I've been practicing. No, I don't think so. You sound fine. It's my face, isn't it? Maybe. I'm sorry. I don't know. I know there isn't much you can do to help me there. Well, I'll keep trying. Thank you. We go back on script, waiting for the other to speak, or for the tide to roll in and take one of us, out to sea. I remember quietly hoping that would happen. It would have been easier than walking away. But of course, the tide never comes. The lake is too small for that. I can see the other end from here. If only we were at the ocean instead. Neither of us are supposed to speak again. After enough time, a little under half an hour, I'm supposed to get up and leave silently. I get up. My Elias is supposed to let me go without complaint, but I guess that must be a little too awkward for him to bear now. How can you be so sure that it will work? Well, I'm not, but I'm patient. I'll see you soon. I dust off the sand and walk back to the car. The car is an old red thing. I wonder if he expected a different response. This isn't the first time he's asked. The bird's sitting there on the window. I shoo him away before getting in the car. And then I get out of the car. I try my best to stand straight, but for a moment I lose my balance. I lean against the car, feeling until the feelings go away. I know how to walk, but suddenly the steps don't come as natural as they usually do. I start back towards the beach, clumsily moving before stopping, before moving again. He stops skipping rocks when he sees me. What are you doing? I struggle to take my shoes off and sit next to him. I let my feet dangle in the water. The water is really too cold to be doing this, but I don't think I care. I wait for him to say something, but he doesn't. He's taking too long. I nudge him with my shoulder. Come on, you know what to say. Is something wrong? No. Why? You never come back so quickly. Am I not allowed to? He doesn't know how to answer that question. Maybe that's unfair. I'm not sure if I know what I want his response to be either. Sorry, I think I'm just feeling a bit off. It's miraculous. He looks like Elias. Not all the way there, but it's the best either of us could manage. He talks like him too. He even says the same things, even outside of the scripted parts. When I grab his arm and touch his skin, it feels like he's really there. Start somewhere in the middle. He sits up a little straighter and scans the horizon as if it were a teleprompter. What if we went somewhere together? Yes, let's go. What? The road trip. Really? Yeah. He gets up without issue. It takes a full minute, but I manage to get my shoes on again. I try to get up on my own. But I need his help. I'm able to walk, but I can tell it makes him nervous. I think he looks a little wobbly too, but I can tell for sure the way I sway a little with every step. There's an assortment of bags lining the passenger seat waiting for us. I'm sorry, I didn't think, I start to move them somewhere to the back. There's no room left in the trunk, but I'm still able to fit them in. He watches from a few steps back. What is all of this? Have I not told him? They're my things. Sure, but what are they? How do I answer a question like that? I don't know. It's just all my stuff. It's like moving, You want to fit everything in as few trips as possible. I can tell he really doesn't really understand. Oh well. I take my spot in the driver's seat and usher for him to come in and take the seat next to me. He looks uneasy. Are you sure you can drive? Give me 1 second. Here we go. You can hear the music now. Of course I can. He isn't inclined to disagree with me. He takes his spot and I fumble with the keys for a moment before starting the car. I put it in reverse. I press slightly on the gas, but the pedal ends up hitting the floor. I try to turn the wheel, but I can't seem to get the directions right. The car comes to a stop across 3 different parking spaces, a visible trail in the gravel where the car spun. Maybe you can drive. Somehow he's a lot better at this than I am. I know he recognizes it too, but he doesn't say anything. I'm grateful. The road turns the way it usually does. I give him directions, leading him along the route. Whenever Elias and I went anywhere, he'd be the one to drive. I got my license late, but was never any good at parking anyway. Where are we going? This is the route back to the beach. Is that where we're going? Well, yes. He's holding back from saying something, and I can tell. The car comes to a stop in the middle of a long stretch of road. I'm about to ask him why he's stopping, when I see them sitting on the road ahead. A flock of seagulls, packed together so tightly across both lanes of the road, I can't tell where one stops and the next begins. He has this blank look on his face next to me, not at all sure what to make of it. Once during the winter, Elias had driven me home from his house, where his family had hosted a small Christmas party. Or maybe it was a New Year's party. We came across a few cars heading in the opposite direction. The back roads to my house were always a little faster. He explained to me why you should keep the high beam headlights off when it is snowing. I knew this, but I pretended like I didn't. When he would flick them on to show me, the seemingly sparse threads of snow would bind together into a white fabric. He brought the car to a stop. It was sudden, but he knew how to make it feel like it wasn't. Ahead of us on the road sat what looked like a lump jutting out from the road. What is that? I asked him. He turned on the high beam lights. A deer, he told me, before driving around it. He begins to back away from the gulls. He turns the car around and we're driving back the way we came. I guess this still works. We'll find our way back to the beach. We come to a 4-way stop I've driven through thousands of times already. Which way? I picture the car coming in from the left, then the right, then from the road straight ahead. But none of them feel right. I wonder if I got distracted and missed a turn somewhere else. Go right. I've never seen this road before. It's wide enough to fit 2 lanes, but there aren't any markings going down the middle. I don't think this is the right way. He pulls over but doesn't stop the car. Do you have a map back there? I'm sorry, I never thought. Well, I don't know. I don't have a map. Why don't we just keep going this way? He points off to the right. It sounds so accurate, it feels scripted when he says it. We are lost. We were stuck. This sounds more like lost. Once Elias and I got lost together on a trail. The middle of August. 1 second. Okay. I had been bothering Elias about going out more while we still could, and look at where it landed us. I told him with confidence that I knew where we were going, but he insisted on taking the map along with us anyway. Good. Like you get lost a lot. Neither of us were the kind of people to spend much time in the great outdoors. We ran out of water faster than either of us expected, and when I asked Elias where we were, I saw the smugness drop from his face. We took a minute looking at the map together. I don't think we're on the trail anymore, he told me. What do you suggest we do about it, I asked. Why don't we just keep going this way? We're bound to hit something eventually. It was as good of a plan as any I could come up with. Sure, let's go. He stops asking for directions whenever we hit an intersection. What should I call you? What do you mean? I mean, what's your name? My name is Elias. You know that. We went to different schools but lived in the same city. I woke up early for the bus. His mom would drive him on the way to work. It must have been at some gathering, maybe around midsummer, a friend's birthday party. Or maybe it was during spring, a graduation party. Or maybe we did go to the same school after all. We met in the 7th grade, or the 8th grade, or the 9th. I saw him first, or maybe he saw me. The bird's been gone for too long. Every few hours, whenever I'd stop the car, he'd come sitting near the window, flapping his wings against the glass, opening his mouth to show me what was inside. A strange kind of fungus grows on the trees here. It doesn't look like any mushroom I've seen in the supermarket or encyclopedia. The shape is round like a hornet's nest. It's hard to notice too. It takes the same color as its tree. I can't bear to look at them, even just driving by. There's a house on the right. It looks too suburban to be all the way out here. Elias lived closer to town. I live further in the country. He brings the car to a stop in front of the house. The house itself is exactly how I remember it. He wants to say something. Were there always as many trees outside? He knows he should say something meaningful about the place, but he can't. Time passes and trees grow, I guess. I'm sorry. Does this place look familiar? Well, yes, you lived here. What do you mean by... This is your house, or at least it used to be your house, or you used to be yours. I've never seen it before. I'm about to tell him to keep driving, but he gets out the car before I can get a word in. He's at the front door. He knocks once. He knocks again. Come on, I don't think this is it. I don't think I really know what it is or what it should be. He refuses, clutching at the doorknob. Come on, let's leave them alone. He's stuck there, utterly unable to hear what I'm saying. I've seen this before. I know the feeling. I grab hold of his other hand. It can take a few minutes to pass. His hand tightens around mine, and the door handle falls off without much fanfare. No. That's enough. We're leaving. He's already inside. He leaves the door open behind him. There's nobody home. Nobody except us, at least. The furniture still has that look to it. It's meant to be seen. I don't think I ever saw the house like this. Not all at once. Wooden angels out for Christmas, woven pumpkins for Halloween, an Easter basket with eggs, several small flags for midsummer. The couch set that they had when I first visited, the couch set they replaced it with the last time I was here. Like a magnet, he's pulled upstairs. He shouldn't know where he's going. He practically glides down the hall until he's at the door, and 1 week later, he's on the other side. This time the door is closed. I try the handle, but he's locked himself in. I try the handle again. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Breaking up or gotten together? Well, the narrator, not myself, but the narrator did say that they broke up a year after she left for school. Or he, I don't know. Let's do breakup. His parents had to let me in. It had been a year by this point. I sat on the other end of the door for a while. Too long of a while, maybe. I don't think we were fighting about anything at that time. At least, I miss him too much. Hey, are you in there? Yeah. Are you okay? I think so. I can hear his breathing on the other side of the door. What's my name? Elias. Right. You sit there for a moment before you hear the door unlock. He's sitting down on the bed when I come inside. He stands up when he sees me. Oh, what the fuck? Posters line the walls. Too many posters. I can't see any wall. Every band he's ever liked, every movie he's ever watched, every picture we've ever taken together. Every picture of just him, every picture of him with someone else. A ceiling fan that hasn't worked in years. The mattress still sags a little in the middle, and the pillow is bent at an odd angle. He complained about the duvet cover whenever we sat here together, but I don't think he ever replaced it. A window looking out to another house that isn't there on the other side. On the outside. It's weird. What is? This is my home. I know it is, and yet... Yet what? I've never been here before. I'm not sure how to say this. I'm sorry. You look like Elias. You talk like him, really. You do such a good job of it. You could fool me if we were anywhere else, but you aren't Elias. You think I don't know that? I don't know what you think, really. Should I? He laughs, and I can't help laughing too. We can find you a new name, if you'd like. I think I still like the name. I feel bad when I call him that, even in my head. I know this isn't right. I know I have to find a way, but even when I try, I only end up moving even closer. You could call me something else if you want. I get it. I know. I kiss him. Elias was my first kiss, but he had told me he'd done this before. I can tell that he's never done anything like this, but soon he learns to follow my lead. Following his lead, I got the impression that I should have practiced this beforehand. But where? It's fantastic. It was awkward. I feel like this is cheating even though I know it isn't. I cared too much. I care too much. It took time, but I got the hang of it. I pull away. But we tried again. And I'm back. The vertigo hits and I'm laying on the floor until it's over. I come back to my senses and I see him working through the closet, trying on all of Elias's clothes. Would he wear these together? No, I don't think so. What about these? Oh, I recognize this one. A white tank top. A thin canvas jacket. Yellow. Jeans, slightly too short. Do tell. He came to school wearing that. I asked him, what on earth are you wearing? He had this look on his face like he had no clue what I was talking about. That evening, it started raining hard. Worst we ever got, at least from what I can remember. He counted the trek from school doors to parking lot like it was a war story. Ha, I like that one. He keeps that outfit on. What time is it? 8:32 a.m. I could sleep the whole day away. If you want, I can help you onto the bed. No, I'm fine. He brings me a blanket, a soft black one. I don't dream. Maybe I wish I did. I wake up to bands of light drifting slowly across my face. I didn't notice earlier how much dust was on the windowsill. I think something's off with my neck. We should get out of here. Right, yeah. I get up first. I'm standing in the doorway when I turn around and see him looking at a picture of Elias and a group of friends hanging on the wall. It was sometime during winter, maybe early February. The lake had frozen over. I fiddled with the skates for nearly half an hour, but still couldn't get them to fit right. Every turn on the rink, and my ankles would move around more than they should have. I sat that day out, sitting on the sidelines, inevitably getting on my phone. They came over as a group, and were about to join me when I waved them back onto the ice. I shuffled out on my boots and took maybe a dozen photos of everyone. I guess Elias must have printed one of them out. I don't tell him any of that. I don't think anyone lives here anymore. Still, I try to put everything back the way we found it. Maybe this is the new route. Maybe we'll run into a flock of birds on the road again, forcing us back up, getting lost again, until we find our way back here and nothing's changed. I wouldn't mind that. He stands near the trunk of the car. May I? Sure. He opens it up and peeks into one of the boxes. More photos. And then another. He grabs out the hockey stick wedged along the wall of the car and then puts it back. I think back to how we found the house. A hole in the front door where the doorknob used to be. I need to put the doorknob back. Okay. The doorknob keeps falling out whenever I try to put it back into place. I'm not particularly handy. I can't fix the door, but I also can't leave it looking like this. I pick up a splinter of wood from the corner of the porch and use it to wedge the doorknob into the socket. He's already sitting in the driver's seat by the time I'm done. Looking in from the other side of the pavement, I see him staring at his reflection in the rearview mirror. He pokes and prods at his face like it's a foreign object. He stops when I open the door. I don't mention it. He starts the car and we're out again. The road hums beneath the car. He's driving fast, but there's no reason not to. On the right side, there's a large clearing. A vein of rocks carves down its middle, growing wider with the distance. The rocks are untouched by moss or grass or dirt, the remnants of a glacier in the area, I think. Give it a few more years, another few rounds around the route, the new one, and maybe the field will take over. The car swerves. What happened? We were at a pop-up carnival once. Elias felt nervous about the rides. His parents told him that they weren't structurally stable if they could be erected over the course of a weekend. So he stuck to the short ones. The lines were better since nobody else bothered to ride them. We took our place in the seat of one of them, and I can see the premonition in his eyes. A bar sat above our laps, but there were no belts. The momentum threw us around so fast that we kept knocking into each other. By the end of the ride, we were squished together in the same red, hard plastic seat. We gave up on rides after that. There's a bird, the gull, in the middle of our lane. Are you okay? This is maybe his third time asking. Yeah, I'm fine. He pulls over and we sit together. He leans in and I lean in too. According to the dashboard, it takes 7 minutes for one of us to say something. It's me. Let's get out of here for a minute. The windows are down, but the air in the car isn't right. I've learned the exact shape of the passenger seat and the precise dimensions of the space in front of me. I don't remember caring much before, but I guess things have changed now. Maybe it's the nausea. There's nothing here, not really. I wonder why the landscape doesn't ever seem to take on more personality. I remember asking Elias what those little wooden structures were. He could always see them along the edge of some of the bigger clearings. Some of them stood upright, others had been knocked over. They never looked large enough to fit a person, but I can't remember checking any of them out up close. He told me they were for hunting. Someone would sit up in the nest and wait for something to cross the clearing. There must not be any hunters here. Sometimes I wonder if they got the wrong place. If all of this happened somewhere else. Excuse me. Does that matter? I don't know. I hope not. I can drive if you're getting tired. No, I'm doing great. I start watching him while he drives. It's different from before, like he has somewhere to be. Hey, where are we going? I was thinking about the place in some of the photos. The lake we all went to during the cold months. I saw a hockey jersey in the closet. You have the hockey stick in the back too. We went there a lot, didn't we? Honestly, I don't remember. You're probably right. I know it's silly. It's not silly. I'm just not sure we'll find it. Or if we do, it'll be what you expected. I bet the place looks a lot different in the summer. He drives slower after that. He points out every exit in the road. I tell him no, that isn't the one. I don't really know much better than him where the lake is or isn't. Graduation party or middle of town? Middle of town. There was a mall there. We and everyone else knew it wouldn't be there for long. A little over half the stores were open by that point. Elias had heard from a friend about a store there. They sold the kind of trinkets that Elias would show me and that I'd laugh about. We did 2 loops walking around the mall. I asked Elias for the name of the store, but he couldn't remember. We later found out that the store had closed just a few days earlier. I think I recognized that bird. I know I did. Yeah? He won't stop following me around. He keeps messing with my stuff. What do you think he wants from you? I don't know, that's the thing. I can't recall any stories about birds or seagulls, really. Nothing worth remembering anyway. I get the impression that the clock on the dashboard isn't very good at keeping track of time. Life moves slower than the dock, but I suppose that could only be a good thing. We were looking at a map of the US. We took turns closing our eyes and pointing out a state. I could name maybe 10 of them. We looked up photos of them as we went, carefully ranking each by how much we'd like to live there one day. I never had any intention to leave, and yet we sat there for maybe an hour before moving on to other countries in Europe. There's a field on the side of the road. The corners of the field where it meets the forest are boxy. Do you ever get sick of it, driving down the same route, watching the same trees go by? No, I don't think so. Did you ever get sick of sitting down by the water waiting for me, then saying the same lines over and over? Well, maybe a little. I'm sorry. I am. It's fine. I think I like this better, though. I think I like this better, too. I didn't realize he had been slowing the car down until he had pulled over. A small dirt lot stretches along the side of the road. There's space for maybe 11 cars. This is it. You found it. I feel myself falling upwards towards the car roof. The seatbelt can't do anything to stop it. When I step out, I know that I'm being sucked towards the sky, but somehow, thankfully, the ground pulls me back. He rushes over when he notices, holding onto my shoulders until the feeling passes. Are you okay? Of course. 1 foot, then the next, back to the first. He's holding me upright. We can wait here for a moment, if you want. I want to lay down, but I know he needs this. No, I'm fine. Let's keep going. We follow a path, if you call it that, down the lake. The trees are marked with orange paint. It had a name, the lake. I can't remember it. I only remember its shape, long and narrow. The path opens, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at. The day so far has been warm. Only now do I start to feel the chill of nighttime, if you can call it that, rolling in. Nevertheless, the lake is frozen over. There's a thin layer of powdery snow on the ice, a thin white painting, hiding the bright green reflections on the ice sheet surface. I go to tap the ice with my finger to double check. It's cold and dry. I take some of the snow in my hand and watch as it melts just a moment later. I wipe my hands on my pants. He tests the edge of the lake with his shoe. The ice is strong and still. He steps out just an inch off the coastline, and still the ice holds. He goes out to take another step. I call out to him. Careful, it's warm out. The ice is probably thin. He takes the step anyway. I think I start to see him falling through, but his body stays above the ice, sliding unceremoniously further out towards the lake. I laugh, small and polite. He laughs. He tries to get his bearings, rolling over onto his stomach and placing himself on his hands and knees. His right knee glides outward, and he's flat against the ice. I laugh a little more. He doesn't. I stop. I wonder if I should ask him if he needs any help. At our graduation ceremony, 10 minutes until we were all supposed to be gathered, he sat outside the bathroom. I think he was worried. I was fine. I remember being scared that I wouldn't cry that day, but I didn't. Should I go back into the car or walk out into the lake? Let's go out onto the lake. See if he needs help. I'm coming. I step out onto the ice. I plant my legs firmly atop a thin layer of snow. The ice beneath us is still solid. I lift my right leg. I hear the thought before I finish my step. You will die here. A short pause before I remember to plant my foot back down onto the ice. That wasn't him talking. I take a step back. The sand feels less solid than the ice. I take a step forward. I glide a few feet. A meter? It doesn't scare me. Nothing scares me anymore. Sometimes I wish something could. I take another step and glide a little further. It's been so long since I've last skated, but it's easy enough. 2 more steps and I'm at Elias. He lies face first against the ice, as if he hoped I wouldn't stop him. Hold my hand. Okay. He takes it. Elias tries to stand up but can't quite manage. I drag him a short distance. His body moves weightlessly across the ice. I line us up at one end of the lake. I take a step and we both move. I take another and we glide a little quicker. We continue to accelerate. I pull Elias forward and up. He scrambles, sure, but now he's in motion. This should be so much harder than like this, but I know it won't be. Faster and further. My skates scratch deep lines in the ice. I'm not wearing skates. Elias manages to plant his spine vertically, his weight resting on his knees. Yes, that's it. I hear the cracking before I see it. I know the cracking before I hear it. We're so close to the end of the lake. This is what I wanted, right? Elias stands up. This is what he wanted. He walks. This is what we wanted. We run. The ice shatters behind us like a pane of glass. The shatter is faster than we are, but the absence of ice can't do anything to stop our momentum. We hit the sandbank and start to fly. No, really. Clear the upper limits of the forest. I love you. I love you too. A moment later, we're above the clouds. A white trail follows behind us. The air here is cold. It's so hard to breathe. It's so impossibly unlikely that I can breathe here. The gasps start small before growing. The breaks between the gasps are short and loud and ugly. I look around, but Elias isn't there. I'm not sure I'm there. The stratosphere, what does it look like? Do I really know? I can see Earth below me, the shape of a ball. Or am I not quite far enough for that? Does the sun still shine on the horizon? I don't know. I'm not so sure of anything now. Maybe I'm underwater. The cold against my skin, that's the only thing it could be. I'm far beneath the surface of the lake. Its lowest reaches are perfect black. I'm falling down. Who knew how quickly someone could sink? Even the fish here seem to swim vertically. Just enough to keep themselves from drowning too, I guess. The currents pass through me. I touch my arms and find that they're no longer there. My arms and my hands and everything else too. It's not quite right either, is it? Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear it. I don't know if I ever died. I don't know if I ever lived. I know one thing. That here and now, I am alone. I get the feeling that maybe I've overstayed my welcome. And with that feeling, I realize one more thing. That maybe it isn't the world around me. Maybe I'm the thing that isn't real. Thank you for playing. So that was less psychological horror like it promised, and more just psychological, not trauma, but it makes you think. All right. So that was Repeat It Back to Me by Sky Shard. I will link the dev in the description down below. I will say the music is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. I am not that big on modern abstract art, but the art in this game really spoke to me. I will say it's more just a psychological romance visual novel than a psychological horror romance visual novel, because there wasn't really any horror into it. I mean, I guess it depends on the person. Like, imposter syndrome, I guess. That's kind of what it feels like, because of the way that the narrator kind of felt. It felt like it could have been like an imposter syndrome kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, see here. Content warnings of the game. Content warnings include light body horror, which I don't really see that in the artwork, really, besides that weird tentacly part. Derealization, understood, and drowning. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, that was it. That was the game. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Who knows, if I get too bored, I'll start God of War 3, or whichever is after 2. It might be 3, it might be one of the ones in between. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.